Okay, so guys, we're going into day 3 of the series, and we're just going to continue building on what we've been doing. Still a little bit of an emphasis on fascia, but this is the first day that we're actually going to use a prop to do a little bit of fascial release. So again, if you've got like a tennis ball or a spiky massage ball that we can use for a little bit of rolling, you can just have that on hand as well. So we're going to start in a standing position today. So come all the way upright, and you can stand on your mat or you can stand a little bit back, but wherever you are, just have the ball set up just in front of your feet so that it's easily accessible. And then as you're standing there, just separate your feet hip distance apart, big toes in line with each other. Just let your arms relax beside you for a moment. Lift your chin so that you're looking forward, and then take a moment to close your eyes. And we're just going to start off with a moment of pausing and noticing what's happening with our bodies today. So if you take a little bit of a scan down your body or up your body, whichever way you prefer to move, just observe your joints, allowing them to be soft. Observing your muscles, maybe notice where you're holding tension today. Noticing your skin. Noticing the shape of your body as you stand in space. And before we start moving, we're going to take 5 conscious breaths in and out, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Breathe in your own rhythm. Noticing the movement of your ribs and the ripple along your spine as you breathe. Notice that natural connection to your energy as you breathe. Feeling the fresh oxygen, circulation, and energy moving through your body. And then when you're ready, just blink your eyes open a few times. Stay there, and we're going to get ready to go into a roll down. So inhale to prepare. And then on your breath out, look down towards your toes, and we're just going to roll forward until your hands are hanging just in front of your knees. Stay there for a moment and feel that curve of your spine relaxing into the back of the neck. Notice where you're feeling the stretch. And then on your next breath, continue rolling forward. So now you're going to bring your hands towards the ground, and notice now how the stretch moves into the back of your legs. Take a breath in, and then breathe out as you come all the way back up. Abdominals connecting, rooting into the heels of your feet, and lifting all the way up and tall. Maybe just roll the shoulders back and around a few times, just to help you find that neutral position of your scapula on your ribs, and then hold it there. So I'm going to do a mirror image of you. I want you to balance on your left leg and place your right foot onto the ball. If you're losing balance, hold on to something. And very, very, very lightly start to roll your foot on the ball. So you guys that have done this with me before know that this first one is almost like you're trying to tickle your own foot. And what we're doing is getting to that very first layer of fascia that is directly underneath our skin. So it doesn't have to be a hard movement at all. And now let your foot go floppy and start to really push down on the ball a little bit more. So with a floppy foot and with a heavy movement, this is now getting into the muscles of the feet, the intrinsic muscles they're called. So they're quite deep. And now stiffen up your foot and keep that deep pressure. So this is now going to be getting into the deep layers of fascia in the foot. So guys, don't forget that the foot is incredibly complex. Get all around the toes, the outside of the foot, the heel, the inside of the foot. And then step back. Don't do the other side yet. Stand on your feet and once again, just close your eyes and observe, how does that right foot feel? Has there been any kind of shift or release for you? And then when you're ready, blink your eyes open. Now let's move to the other side. So now you're going to balance on your right foot. Put your left foot lightly on the ball. Do that sort of tickling motion. So, 25% of our skeleton, our bones, are actually in our feet. And then we've got so many muscles, ligaments, tendons, and all of that interwebbing of fascia through our feet. So oftentimes we don't pay enough attention to them. And now floppy foot, start to increase the pressure onto your foot. And for anyone that struggles with plantar fasciitis, this can be very painful, so please don't hurt yourself. Make sure that you're giving yourself enough pressure that it feels like a release for you, but no pain, yeah? And now stiffen up your foot and go a little bit deeper. Let's get into those deeper layers of connective tissue and fascia. Get all over the foot. Don't miss out any areas. And then release, step back. Once again, close your eyes and have an opportunity to notice what's happening with your own body. What's working for you? Blink your eyes open. Let's go into a second roll down. So on your next breath, look towards your toes. We're going to roll halfway down, just until your hands are in front of your knees. Stay for a moment. Observe if there's been any kind of change for you. And then continue folding forward. Heavy arms, heavy head, all the way over you go. And again, just observe. Are things starting to loosen up maybe? And then start to unravel and coming all the way up, using abdominals and lifting all the way up and tall. And once again, just roll your shoulders back and around a few times. And then settle your scapula on the back of your body. Now you're going to bend both your knees. I'm doing mirror image. Take your right hand and literally just let your hand and arm rest on your head. Just let your right hip push a little to the side and come back in. And a little to the side, come back in. So it doesn't have to be a massive movement. You can keep it small, especially if you've got any lower back issues. If you are very comfortable here, what you might want to do is bend one knee and straighten the other, because that increases the tension as you move your hip to the side. So you need to just kind of explore the range. And remember, it's not a jarring movement, hey guys. It's like you're bouncing off a trampoline wall very gently. And now you can keep going, or if you want to add on, You can do a side bending of the spine at the same time. So I'm still pushing my hip to the side, but I'm adding what is called lateral flexion of the spine. So you can see that I'm opening up down the right ribs, down the side of my waist here. So this is all called the lateral line of the body. And now, if this is feeling good and you want to add on, we can add a stretch and release. So as I stretch through the top arm, it's basically just adding tension to this movement. Keep breathing. And at any point, if you feel like, yep, that's enough, I don't need to do any more, then you stop. So I'm just really trying to encourage everyone to pay attention to what works for you. Come up, hold it, and bring your arm all the way down. Now close your eyes again and notice how your body feels. Is there any kind of shift or release after doing that lateral flexion? Does that work for your body? Blink your eyes open. Bring your left hand up on top of your head. And let's start again just with the hip pushing to the side. Start small and then allow yourself to go bigger. And you might actually notice that there's a difference between your two sides, by the way. So I don't think I've ever met someone that is perfectly symmetrical. The simple fact that we're either right-handed or left-handed is already going to create a bias. And then you bring in daily habits and activities that we have, and then you bring in injuries that we may have, and you're going to find this difference between the two sides. So if this is feeling good, you can add the side bending of your spine now. So now you're going to start to come up around the ribs. So we've got lots of muscles around the ribs here that are getting a release, including on the inside of the ribs are some muscles called the intercostals. And you might even feel that there's a release internally around the lungs. All the way down the side of your waist through the obliques. And then would you like to add the stretch with the top arm? Just see if that feels good. Remember to breathe, because oxygen and fascia go well together. So does water and fascia. So I'm going to encourage you to drink lots of water after class. And come all the way up. And then just allow your arm to relax. Once again, close your eyes. How does that left side body feel? On your next breath, blink your eyes open, and let's go into another roll down. So you're going to look down towards your toes, start curling forward, and just let your hands hang in front of your knees. Notice if there's any release around your back, maybe lower back in particular, and then come all the way forward. Stay there for a moment. Notice how that's feeling on the back of your legs. Take a breath. All the way back up you come. Abdominals connecting, pressing into your feet. Let your head come all the way upright, and then just once again roll your shoulders back and around. And letting your arms relax. Good. So you're going to keep your knees just a little bit bent. And again, I'm doing mirror image. So you're going to take your right hand. I want you to go palm up, palm down, and push the hand away. So you can see I've still got my palm facing up there. And then release it. Scoop up, press down, scoop away. Up, down, scoop away. Up, down, scoop away. And if you're feeling comfortable with this, You can look down and away. Release head to center. As you scoop down, you look away. So let's make it a little bit easier. You don't have to work it. This is just coming into a little bit of a neural glide, a little bit of a nerve release. So we're actually releasing the fascia down the right arm line here. And sometimes that fascia can get stuck and trap the nerve, which is why we call it a neural release. One more. Come back to center, and again, close your eyes. How does that feel? Was there any effect for you working on the neck, the shoulders, the arm? Blink your eyes open, and now left hand, palm up, scoop down, press away, palm up, palm up, palm down, scoop away, palm up. So now you've got that arm movement. Let's just make it seamless and flowing. And as much as possible, you're trying to keep your torso still, yeah? So you're just moving from the shoulder and from the arm. And then when you're ready, when you do that little press away, you look down and away to the other side. So it's not a forced stretch. It's a counter movement with your neck and head in order to just increase the tensioning around that fascia of the arm line. Keep breathing. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. And release. Close eyes. Take a moment to observe. And then when you're ready, blink your eyes open. So I'm going to come onto my mat. If you're already on your mat, you can just stay as you are, and we're going to do 1 more roll down. Take a breath in. Exhale, look towards your feet, rolling forward just until your hands are in line with your knees. Stay here for a moment. Take another breath. Come all the way down, feeling that crease of your hip at the front. Stay here 1 more time. And then start to walk all the way down and coming onto all fours. So stay here just for a second, nice long spine, and we're going to move into a cat stretch. So you want to make sure that your wrists are in a good place for you. Spread your fingers out evenly. And then on your next breath, start to tuck your tailbone, rolling up through your spine, pressing away from your hands. And then lengthen, reaching your tailbone out, lift your tail, lift your heart, lift your eye line. And again, using your breath, rolling up through your spine, and then lengthening and extending. So keep going for 3 more. What I'd like you to focus on today is the actual journey from one position to the next. So we're not just hitting a position and holding it there. What is happening in between? All those subtle, refined movements, all the connections to your breath. We're taking 1 more round, curling tail. Coming into a gentle extension of the spine. And then return just to the center and find that neutral position for yourself. Tuck your toes under And now we're going to hover our knees. So pressing into hands, into feet. If you can lift your knees, it's a very small lift. If your knees don't want to come up, it doesn't matter. As long as you're pushing into your hands and feet, you're still going to get the positive benefits of weight bearing on all the major joints of the body. Remember that you're not dropping your face towards the ground. There's a feeling of energy through your crown and energy through your tail. And then on your next breath, release knees down and release your feet out. Balance on your left hand, reaching your right arm out to the side. Pause for a moment as you find stability. And coming into your thread the needle, rounding through the thoracic spine, letting your head rest. And we're going to stay here today. And the option is to bend the right elbow to touch the ribs and then extend that arm out again. You can just stay here and breathe, but if you want to add a movement today, try the bending and straightening of the right elbow and just notice how it creates, once again, a little bit of tensioning and pull along the back arm line. So you might very well feel it almost in between the shoulder blades, or maybe you're going to feel it down the back of the arm. And we're going to do just one more time. And reaching out. Come all the way up. Now reach that right arm out to the side and find balance. Bend your right elbow and salute. So your fingertips are coming to your temple. And you're going to bring your right elbow towards the left elbow. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. And then open your right elbow out to the side, and maybe you can even lift it up towards the sky a little bit. And elbow to elbow, breathe. And elbow to sky. Elbow to elbow. And elbow to sky. One more time. Finding all that beautiful mobility around the thoracic spine. Come back to the center and placing hands down. Balance on your right hand. Left arm reaches to the side. And then coming into your thread the needle. Let your head rest. Take a moment to get yourself as comfortable as possible. Maybe you need to put a cushion under your head. And then if you want to, bend the left elbow, touching your ribs, and releasing fingertips away. And again, bending elbow, and reach. Move at your own pace. How does it feel on the left side of your body in comparison to the right? Is this registering for you? Is this an area that you need to focus on? Hold it there. Come all the way up, reaching right arm out to the side. Salute. And we bring elbow to elbow. And then elbow up towards the sky. And again, elbow to elbow. And reaching up. Taking two more. And there's a surprising amount of work on that supporting arm, yeah? You can feel all the stabilizers around the right shoulder kicking in. Come back to the center and placing hands down. Open your knees wide, big toes touch, sit back, bring your head down, and then just let your elbows bend and let your hands settle comfortably. Maybe you just want to wiggle your fingers out if you're feeling any strain around the wrists or hands. And take a moment to feel the lateral breath in this position. Feel the release That little ripple coming all the way down towards your lumbar spine and your pelvis as you breathe. And on your next breath, draw yourself back up onto all fours. And from here, slide your right leg back, hold it, balance, make sure that your pelvis is neutral, make sure that your lower back is neutral, and then walk your left fingertips forward, double check that your shoulders haven't rolled, and then pick up your arm and your leg. Hold it there. Keep the alignment of your shoulders and your pelvis. Feel the connections across the front of your body, your abdominals. Feel the connections into your bum cheeks, the right gluteal, and then bring the arm and the leg all the way back in. Now extend your left leg back, hold it there, and again, check the alignment. Walk your right fingertips forward, and then lift arm and leg. So this is typically called a cross pattern of the body. And we use these cross patterns pretty much any time we move. So when we're walking, we have that opposite arm swing to the opposite leg movement. That is our cross pattern. Take another breath. And then bring hand and knee all the way in. So now we're going to be adding on here. So a little bit of a challenge, guys. I want you to slide your left leg back, hold it. Now listen up. Walk your left fingertips forward. It's same arm as leg. Some of you have done this with me before, yeah? Focus your eye line. Now the first thing you're going to do is hover and just see if you can find your balance. And then maybe you can lift the arm and leg a little bit higher. So this is now engaging the lateral lines of the body. Ooh, nice challenge. And then bring it all the way back down. Well done. Good, I could see that. Okay, now try the other side. Slide the right leg back. Walk the right fingertips forward. Hold it there. Lift the hand and the foot up a fraction. And maybe you just have to stay there for today. Or maybe you can start lifting a little higher. Challenge yourself. If you fall over, it doesn't matter. We just get back up. And then bring it all the way back down. Nicely done, guys. Stay here. Stretch the right leg back. Lift the right leg up. And now step your foot through between your hands. If you need padding underneath the left knee, please do so. Walk your hands up onto that top thigh. That's it. Make sure abs are engaged. And let's just start shifting a little bit forwards and a little bit backwards. Because again, depending on what's happening with your body, you might find a really lovely stretch here, or you might find a really lovely stretch here. So explore it. Just double check for yourself, by the way, that you don't lift up that front heel. The front foot has to be firmly grounded. And now find the position that feels good for you and stay there. Take the left hand down and we're going to reach up. Breathe in and breathe out. And again, breathing in. So again, what we're doing here is adding tensioning to this fascial release up the front left body. One more time. Reaching fingertips up, hold it here. Do a little bit of a bend towards the side. Oh, I love that, I can feel that. Let's do 5 little pulses. come back up, and then bringing hands all the way down. Now put your fingertips on either side of the heel of your foot, and then let's start moving a little bit backwards and a little bit forward. So now that front leg is going to be straightening and bending. And the last 2 days of moving, I can definitely feel my hamstrings. So I'm just kind of like easing into it. And we're just going to do one more time. Bring your body weight back and then stay here for a moment. You need to soften the front knee. Lift your toes up so you're flexing that front foot. Lengthen your spine as much as you can manage. And then start turning the foot in and out. So as you let your foot go in and out like windscreen wipers, your knee is going to move, and so is the top of your hip inside the socket. So this is called a hamstring glide. So we've got 3 muscles that make up the hamstrings group, and sometimes they get stuck. So this is actually getting them to slip and slide over each other. So it's a little bit different from our classic hamstring stretch. And then bring your foot back to the center, place your toes down, and you're going to just bring your fingertips forward so that you can scoot that leg all the way back and bring that knee in. You can come onto your hands if that feels better for you. Left leg stretches back, lift your leg up, and step your foot all the way through. Help yourself if you need, give yourself a pad under your right knee if you need, and then walk yourself up. Make sure that you've got balance. So it really helps if you focus your gaze, but if you need to hold on to something, then do so. And we're going to start doing that little bit of movement, forwards and backwards. That's it. Abs connected, no strain in the lower back, yeah? Let's just take a few more. And now bring yourself into the position that you like. Left hand stays, right hand comes down. We breathe in. We breathe out. Breathe in and out. Reach up. One more time. Reach up and hold it. Let's do a little bit of a lean towards the side. And then let's add some gentle pulses. Come center, and then bring your fingertips all the way down to the ground, just on either side of the heel of your foot. And let's start that little movement backwards and forwards. That's it. So no forcing it. You're going to find as well as you just do this rhythmic movement that things are naturally going to start to ease up a bit. And now bring yourself back, hold it there, soften the knee, lift your toes, lengthen your spine as much as you can, and then we do little windscreen wiper movements. So we're trying to keep our pelvis as level as possible. So the movement isn't coming from the lower back or from the pelvis. It's literally coming from the hip socket. So that's where the hamstrings actually attach. They attach below the knee, and they attach just above the hip bone at the hip joint. Let's take 2 more. Bring your foot center, placing your toes down. Walk your hands just a little bit forward, and then send that left leg all the way back. And bringing that knee in. Knees open, big toes touch. Sit back. And just once again, coming into a resting position, maybe Wiggle your fingers, take the pressure off your wrists and hands. And just feel out your body. Taking one more breath in. Long exhale. And walk your hands back towards your knees so you can come upright. Move your hips to the left. Move your feet to the right so you're sitting like a mermaid. Hold on to your right ankle and just bring that left arm up and over for a long, slow stretch. Then come back up. Place that hand just a little bit behind you. Right hand to left knee, sit up tall, and just coming into an open twist. And then release. Pivot your feet around to the other side, holding onto your left ankle. Right hand, long stretch. Coming up, place your hand to the floor, hand to right knee, sit up tall, and into that open twist. Come all the way to center, and now just bring your feet out in front of you. So you're gonna come towards the front edge of your mat, so you've got some space behind you to roll. So I want you to hook your hands to the front of your knees, hold on firmly, and then help yourself to sit up as straight as possible. Start to curl your tailbone under. And if you can, you straighten the elbows so you almost feel like you're hanging off your knees. It's the most wonderful opening for that little space between the shoulder blades. And then bend your elbows, pull, and all the way up you come. And again, curl back, draw your belly away from your thighs. Stay for a moment, breathing in. Exhale. And lift up tall. Two more. Draw tailbone under, feeling the curve of your spine. And exhale. Lift up. This is the last one. Curl back. Stay here. Start to slide your hands down the sides of your legs and relaxing all the way back. Bring your feet a little bit closer in towards your pelvis. So now listen, just make sure that you've got your little spiky ball close enough that you can grab it when we need it in a second. So arms are beside you, knees, feet slightly separated, ready for a pelvic curl. Tilting hips, rolling up into our bridge position. Pause at the top for a moment. Make sure that your gluteals are doing what they need to do. And then we get to ripple down. Imprint and release. And again. Pause for a moment, breathing in. And exhale. And we're going to do two more. Work at your own rhythm. So I've said this before in my classes, this might be one of the most basic exercises, but it's one of the most comprehensive in the muscles that it wakes up, the muscles that it releases, the mobilization of your spine, kind of gets everything going. Pause at the top, and then work your way down through your spine and release. So now, take your little spiky ball or your tennis ball, and I want you to place it on your sacrum. So you have to lift your hips up a bit. It's not the lower back. It's a little bit below the lower back. just sort of at the top of the pelvis, the middle of the pelvis. And when you feel that you're in the right spot, you can take your hands away and literally just lie on the ball, like just give the weight of your pelvis to the ball for a moment. And then what I quite like to do is a slight rocking from side to side. So this area across the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, and the lumbar spine, or the lower back area, has a lot of fascia, a lot of connective tissue. And sometimes it can get quite stuck. So by doing this little physical release with the ball, it actually encourages water to come back in and rehydrate all of that connective tissue, which is lovely. Feels so good after. And then again, you can just settle in the middle and maybe you just want to stay there. What I like to do now is tilt my pelvis forwards and backwards a little bit on the spiky ball. So it's quite a small movement because you can't really extend too far. You don't want to hurt your lower back. But you're just going now a little bit forwards and backwards, or just resting. And then center. Stay there for a moment. And then in your own time, slip the ball out. Now feel this. When you lie down and let your pelvis rest on the floor, just close your eyes, and what a huge difference, or at least for me. It's a massive release where everything just feels like it's melted away. Just enjoy it for a moment. And then you can open your eyes, blink gently, bring both hands all the way up, turn the palms of your hands to face each other, and let's start to scissor the arms. So we are reaching. One hand back, one hand forward. Try to keep your ribs softly closed. So it's not about extending your back at all. It's just really getting that range from the shoulder joint and feeling almost like there's a slipping and sliding movement of the scapula up and down your ribs behind you, like two little bars of soap sliding up and down. Last one. Come back to the center, hold it here. You're going to interlock your fingers, place your hands underneath your head, and stay here for a moment. Now we're going to do something a little bit different, guys. You can wiggle out your spine, create some space. I want you to bring your elbows up so that your elbows are pointing straight up to the sky as opposed to out to the side. And when you come up into your chest lift, I want you to reach your elbows towards your thighs. So nod your chin, and on your breath out, your elbows are reaching forward. It's quite a strong stretch for the back of the neck. And then releasing gently down. So don't hurt yourself, feel it out. One more time, nod your chin. Exhale. Feeling a little stretch, and then releasing it down. Now stay here. Open your elbows so you can just see them in the corner of your eye. No pulling on your head. Nod your chin. Exhale. Can you feel now that all of a sudden the abs are getting loaded as opposed to that pulling on your neck? And release down. And again, exhale. Take a little breath. And release back. Last two. And release. Last one. And releasing all the way back. Just let your elbows press out to the side for a second so you get a bit of a stretch through the front of the shoulder. And then slip your hands out and reach your arms out to the side in a T position with your palms up. Engage the abdominals and bring one knee up to tabletop. Deepen the ab connection. Bring the other knee up to join it. Squeeze knees, squeeze ankles, open up the collarbones. Roll both your knees to the right, but do not go past the line of your mat. It's not far. Exhale, draw back to the center. Roll your knees to the left, keep them stacked with each other, but do not go past the side of your mat. And then exhale, come back. Now, as you roll your legs to the side, make sure that you're bringing your feet with you as well. You don't want to leave your feet behind. Chest open, exhale. We're going to take one more to the left, just like this. And I'm deliberately keeping it small, guys. Exhale, because I want you to feel the refinement of the movement. Roll your knees to the right and stop. Extend your legs as much as you can manage on the diagonal. Are your toes in line? Bend your knees and come back to the center. Take your knees to the left, stop. Extend your legs as much as you can. Can you feel how the tensioning is loading the obliques? Bend your knees and come back to the center. Knees to the right, pause. Extend. Bend. Draw to center. One more time, knees to the left. Extend. Bend. And come back to the center. Stay here. Extend your legs as much as you can in the center. If your legs don't straighten, it doesn't matter. Take your right leg out to the side in line with the mat. Keep your right leg there. Now bring your left leg over to join it, and then bring both legs back to the center. Take your left leg out to the side, just in line with the mat. And then move your right leg over to join it. And then bring both legs back to the center. Right leg moves out. Left leg comes to join it. Hold it. Both legs back to the center. Last time, I promise. Taking left leg to the side. Right leg joins it. So that's going to give you that rotation in the spine. And bring both legs back to the center and hug both knees in towards you. Cross your right thigh over the left thigh. Either hold on to the knees, you can stay here if that's good for you, or you can move your hands down your legs a little bit. If you need a little bit of a cushion underneath your head, then give yourself a support. And just stay here for a moment as you breathe into that gluteal stretch, that deep release of the bum. Make any adjustments to the position that you need so it works for you, okay? So on this side, I almost need to roll my legs a little bit to the left to really get the stretch into my right piriformis muscle, the right bum. Come all the way to center, uncross, and then your left leg goes over. Hold on to the knees. Or you can slide your hands down if that feels like a good release for you. And then just settle into the stretch. Make the adjustments that you need. And then release, unwind, and we're going to do one slow roll up into a sitting position. Put your hands behind your thighs. Start to move your legs away from your body until your elbows are straight, so there's tension. Lift your head to round your spine forward, and then pour your body weight into your feet, coming all the way up, rounding over, and then unravel and sit up nice and tall. So now we're just going to sit in an easy position. I want you to take the ball again. And so your sternum goes right from the base of your throat here. You can feel the bone, and it comes right down to a little point here. There's a little bone sticking down at the bottom here. If you press on it too hard, it doesn't feel very nice. So we're just going to be working this little strip of fascia on the sternum here, or the breastbone. So take the ball. If you've got a necklace like I do, then just move it out of the way. And you can draw little circles. You can just go up and down if you wish. But then come down. Might be a little bit uncomfortable for some of us ladies here. Okay, so just move down, coming to that little spot just above where the abdominals attach, and then roll back up again. So again, there's quite a bit of wide fascia across the sternum that all of these chest muscles connect into, the pectoral muscles. And they can oftentimes get a little bit tight as well. And they kind of restrict us because we're in this rounded spine position oftentimes. So this is going to help us open up a little bit. Good. And then you can release. You can place it down. So now lie on your stomachs. And we're going to go into a little bit of a cobra. So elbows on the floor today. Placing hands onto the floor, separate your legs just a little bit, gluteals are engaged, hover the tip of your nose, find a little bit of energy through your crown, a little bit of energy through your feet, and we're going to inhale to come up into a baby cobra, and hopefully it feels super duper easy because we release the sternum, right? And then floating your chest all the way down, and we go again. Inhale, lifting up. Keeping the two little bottom ribs on the floor. Don't lift up too high. And exhale, releasing down. Let's do a few more. Breathing in. And breathing out. Last two. Inhale, use that inflating of your lungs like two balloons to lift you up. And release. Last one. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, releasing all the way back. So let your elbows lift up to the sky. Come all the way up again. And just take a moment once again to come into a resting position. Settle your body all the way back. Make sure that your head is supported. So we just want to come into a little bit of a counter stretch or a counter pose to that extension of the spine we were just doing. So that's why we oftentimes do resting or maybe even a cat stretch after back extension. On your next breath, draw yourself all the way up again. So coming onto all fours, we're going to be transitioning to a downward facing dog position. So tuck your toes under. Start pressing into your hands and feet and just hover your knees up. Just hover. Start to move your hips backwards. Lift your hips halfway up. And start pressing away from your hands, reaching through the heels of your feet and rolling the shoulders away from your ears. So your knees are super duper bent, which means you can really focus on that lengthening of the spine. Now start to press one heel down and then alternate other heel down. So this is getting into the fascia, the connective tissue up the back of the leg. Calf muscles, Achilles tendons, it's all connected into the soles of the feet, and it's all connected up the back of the legs and then along the spine as well. Let's just take a few more. Send both heels down. Now listen, it doesn't matter if your legs are bent or straight. Feel it out for yourself. Feel the connections of your hands to the ground, the energy reaching through your heels of your feet. And then soften your knees and walk your feet halfway up your mat. Come halfway forward. And then walk your hands back to your feet. Stay there, just relaxing over. Give your head a little shake. No, 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 no. And then nod your head. Yes, 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 yes. Take a breath in. And then exhale. Up you come. Abdominals rolling up. Rooting into your feet. Lifting all the way up and tall. Pause for a moment. And you can just roll your shoulders back and around a few times. Let your arms settle. Double check that your big toes are in line. And then once again, either soften your gaze or just allow your eyes to completely close. And taking the last few moments of class to pause, notice, observe any shift or transition that's taken place in the last hour of moving. Taking a deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh. Blink your eyes open. Nicely done, guys. Let me just check in with you and see how everybody's feeling.